welcome to the 6:30 p.m. Prime News on My Media Prime Television with me, AUDREY ZATSA. We open today's edition on a series of car crashes recorded. 2 persons have sustained injuries in a road accident this morning in Fengudron Bonge Koto, a neighborhood in the economic capital Douala. The incident occurred as a Mercedes vehicle collided into a motorbike, causing the motorbike rider and his female passenger severely injured. Details with Booking Worthy.
That is the cry of a young girl who is a victim of an accident that occurred early this morning at the Bange neighborhood Douala. This damsel and her friend were returning home from a club on a motorbike in the early hours of August 26, 2021, precisely 6 a.m. when a Mercedes on high speed collided with their bike, leaving the bike rider with an almost broken ankle and the young girl in severe pain. With barely many persons on site when the accident occurred, the half-drunk Mercedes driver, a young man in his 20s attempting to make for a run, was apprehended by a crowd of angry onlookers and bike riders who arrived inside in time to stop him, his friend and girlfriend. After pleas and talks between the Mercedes driver and bike rider on site, the young girl and friend were rushed to the hospital by the Mercedes driver, and the bike rider was compensated for his injury and asked to contact the Mercedes driver for the compensation of his motorbike if need arises.
Another car crash involving 2 interurban buses, Bangwa Boys and Ndé Airlines yesterday in Kekem, west region of the country, has left several persons injured and who have been taken to the hospital or who are currently receiving treatment. Details with Nora Kakebi.
It was another ugly incident in Kekem in the Mongo division yesterday involving 2 buses which got into a head-on collision. At about 4:30 p.m. August 25th, 2 70-seater transport buses, one belonging to the Mangwa Travel Agency and the other from Ndé Airlines Travel Agency, had an accident at Kekem. Fortunately enough, no death was recorded, but reports say some persons were badly injured in the accident. The badly injured victims were immediately rushed to the Banka Hospital in Kongsamba, while others were transported to another hospital in Douala. The elements of the law enforcement were quick to visit the scene of the accident, and the brigade commander of Kekem had this to say.
As you can see, an accident has just occurred here between 2 buses. The Mangwa bus, which was going to Kongsamba, and then the airlines. It has rained heavily. We are yet to establish the cause of the accident.
One of the passengers of the buses recounts what happened. As we left the control and the bus conductor urged the passengers to take their seats, after driving for a while, I just heard a loud noise and I suddenly found myself on the floor. It should be noted that the Douala-Bafoussam road stretch is degraded with several potholes, with no major footpaths on both sides of the road, overgrown with grass. However, the accident has been attributed to reckless driving.
The divisional officer for Douala 5 subdivision, Anwafo Kletus, has coordinated a cleanup campaign. He was seen today cleaning up the streets and calling on inhabitants to tidy up the surroundings, this for their own well-being and for the prelude for the African Cup of Nations that the country is preparing to host. Student journalist Ayong Tennyson has details.
Just like every other Thursday in Douala 5 subdivision, it has become a routine for the population to close their shops and come out in mass to keep the municipality clean in the Operation Keep Douala Clean. This Thursday was a special one, as the divisional officer for Douala 5 subdivision, and now for Kletus Asongwe, assisted over 500 youths of the Banya village to keep their community clean. The deal for the Douala 5 subdivision comes out to encourage the youths and equally persons to respect the cleanup campaign, which to some individual is a job meant for particular persons and it's a kind of punishment.
That village is held a dynamic, accompanied by very dynamic afterheads, which and others, who mobilize more than 500 youths to clean the streets today within the framework of the operation Douala Clean that takes place every Thursday from 6 to come and encourage them, because we realize that populations have taken this activity to be some sort of slavery, that they are being imposed to do something. Today the message has passed that we have to, all of us, involve ourselves in cleaning the town to avoid the floods that have been witnessed over the years here, and to avoid illnesses like malaria, which are propagated by mosquitoes. And you know that mosquitoes do not distinguish those that they bite, whether you are a Jew, you are a mayor, or you are a chief, or an ordinary person in the street. Mosquitoes do not have respect for you.
According to the DO, the response so far from the population as seen from today's outing is positive.
Yes, I think the population, first of all, heard our call to come out. Because when you have more than 500 youths in Douala coming out to work, abandoning every other thing to work, it means the message is passing. It is for other villages now to copy this same example. Now I want to assure the populations that every Thursday they will find me in the field. Today I'm in Banya, tomorrow maybe in Dokoti, the other day maybe Lenzi. And we will do it until the populations will completely know that it is important for all of us to carry out this exercise to keep our town clean.
The chief of Banya village was equally present at the cleanup campaign launch, marking his fourth outing to encourage his people to clean up their communities and emphasize that this will not be the last time he will be seen on the fields.
Que ça, c'est le lancement. Hein? Nous sommes au lancement de cette activité, mais ça, c'est pas le premier jour. Nous sommes...
It is the launching of this activity, but it is not the first day. We are on the fourth day of the activity, and we think that in days to come, there will be many more persons so that the village can be clean.
C'est bon à suivre, mais pas n'importe quoi. Ça, c'est un très bon exemple pour nos villages, et nous devions suivre l'exemple. Je demande à tous les chefs de suivre l'exemple du village Mbaya.
Meanwhile, the quarters on the Douala 5 subdivision had some of their heads present to show their efforts and support and stress the importance of the campaign on health.
For the immediate that has called up this morning to accompany us. I myself, they call me Ambrose Makwa Misam, quarterhead Bonamusongo, inside the village of Mbanya, with his chief called Elonkoto Patrick, that have organized this clean town and respect what the divisional officer, the senior divisional officer, the governor, has planted, that every Thursday we should put our places clean. And we have accepted that to put all those places clean while waiting for the match, the football match, which is coming at 2022, so that places will be very clean. And we have combined with the youth, more than 500 youths. Even the mothers of 70 years, they are here. Because mosquitoes never choose somebody to bite. It can bite a mother, it can bite a child, and those people become sick, of which we have refused, that we don't have that type of sick in our quarters and villages.
Aside the main objective, which is to keep the community clean and protect communities from certain diseases caused by unhygienic practices, the Douala 5 cleanup campaign also seeks to prepare the city ahead of AFCON come January 2022.
We move to Barmanda, where 16 or 15 projects out of 25 have been realized, especially in the education, health and infrastructure domain, despite the socio-political crisis. This was disclosed during the 2021 midterm evaluation account session for the Barmanda 2 Council, which took place yesterday in Barmanda, presided by the Mayor Peter Chemui. Details with Charles Kibo.
The 2021 midterm evaluation account session for the Barmanda 2 Council took place August 25th to evaluate the execution of contract for 2021 in the presence of the supervisory authority, Mezam SDO Simo Emil No, who urged the 2019 law on public contract on section 74, 75, 76 and 77 be fully implemented. Also addressed the council's worry on revenue collection, which often leads to misunderstanding amongst the councils.
The people are ready and they're willing to pay the taxes. Honestly, from the few collection, there's good faith in the taxes, but then, you know, the change of mindset from this session is some are a little bit delayed, and people, the daily collectors and the tax collectors from the council, they can't gain access to certain areas because of challenges. But so far, so good. I think there's a bit of improvement as compared to last year.
The SGO noted a committee has been put in place to see into the effective collection and distribution of revenue amongst the councils in the city of Barmanda. Call on the councillors to be agents in their various constituencies in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, which is in a second wave. Barmanda 2 Council Mayor Chenny Peter, presenting his actions during the midterm evaluation meeting of the council, said the socio-political crisis has been a stumbling block for the effective execution of some projects and access to tax collection within his municipality.
What we're going through is a tax. You know, most of these guys have been unfit to execute their job, but they've been threatened and attacked. So at times, for us to realize you have to use intervention to assist. But I want to thank God that I think about 70% of my job so far, following the evaluation, has been executed.
The Barmanda 2 Council with projects realized in the domain of education, health, infrastructure amongst the Mulang and Tamang community halls.
So far, I think I have a list. We have a road have maintained. You have this 27 million funds from public contract road maintenance that have maintained the road towards Chesang-Nitop, Tamu, and we have constructed the Women Empowerment Center that was planned last year by this secessionists. We have renovated 2 classrooms at Batu and Songwa in Mankon. And for the moment, we are constructing 2 community halls, one in Mulang and another one in Old Town.
The council looks forward rehabilitating some roads, provide potable water, stop boreholes and solar street light in some neighborhoods in the municipality.
The Minister of State, Secretary General at the Presidency, Ferdinand Gongo, has inaugurated the National Center for the Production of Passports. The inaugural ceremony took place yesterday in the political capital, Yaoundé. Joy Ngong tells us more.
It is with the unveiling of the stela and the cutting of the inaugural ribbon that the Secretary General at the Presidency officially inaugurated the National Passport Production Center. The construction of this edifice, which is a partnership between the INCM Agente Consortium and the Delegation of National Security, is part of President Biya's vision to modernize public administration.
As days pass on, under the wise leadership of President Paul Biya, Cameroon is being transformed positively and makes progress towards modernity and emergence. The well-being of Cameroonians is and has always been at the heart of President Paul Biya.
The Director General of National Security assured the population that the biometric passports are one of the most secured worldwide.
We no longer need to leave our towns of residence to the capital to follow up procedures to obtain a passport. People will no longer be caught up in frauds and extortion networks. Everything is now done automatically.
Since the services of the Passport Production Center went operational on July 1, 2021, over 30,000 applications have been deposited online. The production is made in 48 hours and the users are being called via telephone to pick up their passports.
At least 250 school children from Boya and Tiko municipalities have benefited from donations of didactic materials and scholarships, a donation within the framework of the Back to School campaign in the restive Southwest region by Solidarity for Humanitarianism Foundation. Table Round Table, Cameroon and other partners. Eileen Sama was present and compiled the following report.
The donation of didactic materials comprising of school bags, textbooks, exercise books, writing materials and toys for playtime among others was the initiative of a group of NGOs in Cameroon, including Solidarity and Humanitarian Foundation, Round Table Cameroon, Aquamarine Foundation, Shep Academy and Agenda for Better Women among others. Representing the governor of the Southwest region at the event was the divisional officer for Boya, Dr. Abba Abdurrahman, whom in his keynote address called on the beneficiaries to use the donation judiciously. On her part, one of the partners of the initiative, Madame Elman Diver, CEO of Solidarity and Humanitarianism Foundation, spelled out the importance for our NGO to join the campaign.
We all know that education, just as we say, is the key to success, to development, developing a nation. And we believe that children, as the saying goes, are the leaders of tomorrow. But actually, the leadership begins from today. So by giving them the opportunity to go to school, to acquire this knowledge, we are preparing a better nation for tomorrow. So we saw this as an opportunity to come up with other partners to support these children to go back to school, to make them understand that they are loved, they are cared for, they have people who have them at heart.
Chimfo Ambe, president of Round Table Cameroon Boya, organizers and partner of the event, highlighted the reason for the benevolence.
You can see Round Table got into partnership with different stakeholders, and we gave an opportunity for all those stakeholders to identify to their levels. Yes, some people, they are not only stakeholders, they are individuals. They are not only companies, they are not only NGOs, but they are also individuals who decide, I have 10 internally displaced persons. For that reason, I'm going to award for 20. He brings 10 and he adds 20.
The beneficiaries express their gratitude.
I feel very happy for the Round Table for opening this band because it helped
For the other partners, they believe promoting the education of the most vulnerable group is a pillar for development.
The campaign Back to School was led by the massive what actually this campaign is that we have noticed that we have so many children who want to go to school. They are afraid to school because they don't have the money. So we the have decided to, as a team, to have some of these children. Some of these children to sponsor them in school, give them school bags, books, textbooks, and pay some of their school fees in order to acquire their knowledge.
The Back to School campaign is definitely one of our activities. Something like this was really a good cause to join. We're very happy to be part of it.
The events, which took place at the Bongo Square Ceremonial Ground Boya, chief town of the Southwest region, created a forum for educational talks on the primordial role education plays in a country hit by crisis from all angles, with a call from the administrators for stakeholders to continue doing more of such humanitarian acts.
Representatives of some internally displaced persons now residing in Bonamume, a neighborhood in Douala, have received material and psychosocial from members of the Christian Women Fellowship Movement of the Presbyterian Church Cité de la Paix congregation in Douala. While receiving their gifts, the war victims further expressed their worries pertaining their stay in their new homes. Dolin Gonde was present and she reports.
Bags of rice, tablets of washing soap, packets of seasoning cubes, and cloths are some of the items that have been offered to the representatives of internally displaced persons now residing in Bonamume, Douala. The donations coming from the members of the Christian Women Fellowship, CWF of the Presbyterian Church, Cité de la Paix congregation is coinciding at a time when the beneficiaries say they are passing through diverse challenges such as
house rent, face difficulties when it comes to house rent, and school fees, yes, and to water. We don't have potable, drinkable water here in Bonamume. Yes. Challenges for the house, for pay house rent, hospital, and becoming sick, and for school fees.
Talking to the women's work helper from the Christian Women Fellowship movement of PCCT de la Paix, the motive for their being here today and how they got to know about the internally displaced persons residing in Bonamume is told.
We came here today to visit the IDP of Bonamume to share with them the word of God and some gifts that will assist them for some time. Our being here today is as a result of a program that I watched on my Media Prime. I saw one IDP from Barmanda who came with a pathetic story, and it touched me, and I had to take the message back to my group, so they were interested. And I said, we have been visiting other people elsewhere, so this time let us come and share with our sisters. So that's why we are here today.
Besides the free will donations, the Christian women also preached the word of God to the war victims as they further sang and danced together. Meanwhile, the beneficiaries on their part have expressed gratitude to their donors, as many confessed the items will go a long way to sustain their basic needs. Touched by the deplorable conditions the internally displaced persons now take refuge in, plus the pathetic nature of their war experiences, the women's work helper once more.
Besides sharing of gifts, we have shared the word of God with them, which is our main objective, bringing people closer to Christ. I've seen and heard here today. I would like that the public should come and visit them. Individuals can come, association can come, family meetings can come, and even other Christians from other denominations can also come and help these our brothers and sisters who are right here with us here in Douala. We can come and share with them. Even the government, to see how we can put an end to this crisis so that people can go back to their activities and their job that they have left behind, so that peace can reign in this Cameroon.
Before leaving Bonamume, snapshot exchanges between the CWF and the IDP representatives were taken with more prospects for cordiality and assistance.
Some persons living in Limbe, Fako Division, have benefited from the humanitarian support of Honorable Etombi Gladys, Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, as part of her parliamentarian outreach to for the year 2021. Kuma Honorish.
Some free groups of persons living in Limbe have benefited from a humanitarian support program of the Honorable Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, Honorable Etombi Ikomi Gladys, as part of her parliamentary outreach for the year 2021. The handing over of pedagogic materials, food items, and financial assistance witnessed the presence of administrative, political, religious, and traditional authorities, as well as a cross-section of the Limbe population. Addressing the population, Honorable Etombi Gladys said her choice of providing support to 3 groups of individuals is motivated by her love for humanity and her zeal to improve the living conditions of the underprivileged. She called on the youths to emulate the good examples of the elderly so that they too can be recognized tomorrow, and why not attain their age.
Well, what remains of the civil approach
The beneficiaries included 30 elderly citizens of above 85 years, 150 needy children of school-going age, and 2 sets of triplets. The elderly persons carried home food items, financial assistance, and certificates of recognitions for impacting their communities and for contributing in making the city of Limbe what it is today.
We were grateful. We are going to make a dollar for people.
March class 6. Class 6. Powers are preparing them when they walk.
The second group of beneficiaries, who were mostly needy children, were given pedagogic materials such as school bags, water bottles, exercise books, ledgers, pens, pencils, rulers, among others, to ease the load of their parents as they prepare for school resumption come September. The third group of beneficiaries included 2 sets of triplets with one of their parents a teenager. They were given food items, back-to-school materials, as well as financial support for their upbringing. The ceremony was made colorful with poetry from the Limbe Poetry Group and gospel replay to give it the grandeur it deserves.
A few days to school resumption, some 75 pupils who got involved in swimming activities throughout the holidays have come to the end of their vacation training in Barmanda. They were encouraged with prizes and didactic materials to prepare them for their back to school. Charles Kibwa.
Within the framework of back to school, some 75 pupils in the nursery and primary, whom throughout the holiday period engaged themselves in swimming, have come to the end of their long holiday training in swimming in Barmanda. The kids who were trained on 3 swimming styles.
We have trained them 3 professional swimming styles. That is freestyle, breaststroke, and backstroke. The one that is still left is what we call butterfly, because the kids are still young and butterfly brings a lot of muscles. And when they get 12, 18, we are going to complete the 4th swimming style.
Aim to encourage swimming and for the region to be recognized in the milieu of swimming, the Ayaba swimming pole master Hope Lee Ahunchi said they are out to train as many other youths as possible.
I've taken as an initiative to train as many as possible. I have a vision to train 5,000 to 10,000 people in the local season. And when the environment is trained in swimming, they are trained in safety.
Even swimming has come to stay in Barmanda and the region with no sea, and looking at the kids prevailing and impressed with their output, some parents disclosed.
First of all, they went for holiday classes. Then when they finished with the legat, they had to come here because I know they too good. So dear parents, all of them are important. You know, you train the mind. I also like to honor our very important. As a pedagogue, I see children who are so close because they know only the reading aspect, the educational aspect in school. And I said there is something that these children need to know. And it came up because I was trying to find out. They told me the swimming classes here takes place every week. And I brought the children for 3 weeks running. I'm telling you, I'm so amazed at what they are doing.
Being the 3rd batch of the summer holiday training in swimming, award of prizes and didactic materials to encourage the kids prepare for back to school crowned the long vacation training.
We have come to the end of today's edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. The news was produced by EWANE Eli Nolinga, coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. Com Leonard and his panelists will be yours right away. Stay blessed.